All right, thanks so much, Elliot. And thank you, Speaker Boehner, for making time for us. I know you're a busy man these days.
Glad to be here with you.
All right, let's cut straight to the State of the Union address last night. The president kept saying this is a Sputnik moment. What kind of moment would you say we're in right now?
Well, if you really want to talk about what the Sputnik moment is, it's the fact that we're broke.
Yeah.
And the American people know we're broke. And they want us to do something about spending. And there wasn't much talk last night about cutting spending and getting our debt under control.
And would you cut Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security?
If we lead with our chin, nothing happens. That's what's happened in Washington for the last 25 years. I think that we need to have both parties working together to help explain to the American people the size of the problem and an array of possible solutions.
A debt and a deficit of enormous proportions, and I don't know how you can cut enough without also raising taxes. Believe me, I don't want to pay more taxes.
You can't raise taxes enough to solve this problem, and you can't cut enough spending to solve this problem. Two things have to happen if we're serious. We've got to hold the line on spending, and we have to get the American people back to work.
Last night, after the State of the Union address, Michelle Bachmann got up and gave her own response. Now, she did this without insulting you. You're the most powerful man in the House of Representatives, certainly, and one of the top, most powerful men in the nation. And she decides to go out on her own and give a response. Are you able to manage these people?
The official response was given by Paul Ryan, chosen by Senator McConnell and I, to give our response. But I understand that every member of Congress, Democrat and Republican, does a response to the State of the Union. I mean, in years past, I've been on a number of TV shows. I've done a number of radio programs back to my district. Everyone does something to respond to the State of the Union. She decided to do hers in front of a Tea Party group. That's fine.
But the Tea Party people can be a little unruly at times, can't they?
Well, you look at what the Tea Party folks were saying, it wasn't any different than what the rest of America was saying. That spending is out of control, and we've got to get our economy moving again and get people back to work.
Speaker Boehner, don't the American people want you to work with the president and with the Democrats to find common ground and solve these problems?
Oh, clearly. And we are going to find common ground. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but we're going to find some way to find common ground in cutting spending. The president talked about tax reform last night, and I think there are ways that we can simplify both the corporate tax code and the personal tax code, and I'm optimistic that we can work together on it.
Could you get that down to one page, please, that tax bill, that tax reform? I want one page.
You and I and every American would love to have that.
You've come from, as you said, you had a sort of not a privileged upbringing, and now you are Speaker of the House. And last night the president recognized you as sort of symbolizing the American dream. So let's take a look at that.
All right.
We may have different backgrounds, but we believe in the same dream that says this is a country where anything is possible, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from. That dream is why I can stand here before you tonight. That dream is why a working class kid from Scranton can sit behind me. That dream is why someone who began by sweeping the floors of his father's Cincinnati bar can preside as Speaker of the House in the greatest nation on earth.
So, how'd that feel?
It was a nice moment for Joe and I and for the president. But I think it gives every American the opportunity to look up and say, hey, you know, they can do it. I can do it.